Ukrainian troops have shot down 2 Russian Su-34 jets and damaged 2 others in Marinovka airfield in Russia's Volgograd region. The operation was carried out jointly by Ukraine's Security Service, Armed Forces and Special Operations Forces with the use of long-range drones. The Special Operations Forces of the Armed Forces and the Security Service of Ukraine have carried out a joint special operation that resulted in the destruction of 2 Russian Su-34 fighter bombers and damage to 2 others at the Marinovka airfield, the SBU reported on Friday. The strike triggered fire in the airfield's technical maintenance area used by Russian Army to get aircraft ready for missions, perform routine maintenance, and carry out repairs. The General Staff of Ukrainian Armed Forces reported that Su-34s are actively used by Russian forces along the front line for bombing missions, including the deployment of guided aerial bombs. According to the General Staff statement, the fighter jets are classed as frontline fighter bombers in the Russian Aerospace Forces and are particularly used to drop guided aerial bombs, including some equipped with glide and correction modules.
Ukraine has upgraded its sea-based Katran drone with strike capabilities reaching targets up to 100 kilometers away, according to the drone's operator from Ukraine's HUR military intelligence agency speaking in Militani. The unmanned vessel, originally designed as a kamikaze platform, has evolved into a strategic multi-role system capable of deep and extended operations. Ukrainian missile and drone strikes from 2022 to 2024 destroyed up to 1/3 of Russia's Black Sea fleet, forcing remaining vessels to relocate from occupied Crimea to Russian ports beyond Ukraine's missile range. Since 2023, Ukraine has deployed at least 15 different types of unmanned surface vessels across the Black Sea. These drones have successfully disrupted the Russian naval presence and secured maritime grain corridors critical for Ukrainian exports. In an interview with Militani, a special forces operative from the HUR's Black Sea Legion with the call sign Deviati described the Katran as a strategic tool and revealed major performance upgrades. He confirmed the drone can operate for up to 6 days on water and reach targets as far as 3,000 kilometers, nearly tripling the publicly stated range of 1,000 kilometers that had been reported back in March. The system allows operations beyond 2,000 kilometers. Although we officially state that 1,600 kilometers, we've already seen examples of 3,000 kilometer missions, Ninth told Militani. The Katran is now armed with weapons that strike targets up to 100 kilometers away, guided by artificial intelligence for high precision, according to him. The Katran, named after a type of spiny dogfish, aka mud shark, is a multi-role platform developed by Ukrainian defense manufacturer, Military Armored Company HUB. It belongs to a broader family of Ukrainian unmanned surface vessels capable of hitting targets in the air, at sea, and far into enemy-controlled territory. The weapon system, including FPV drones and missile payloads, are housed in the superstructure built above the drone's main hull. This modular design enables the platform to carry a diverse set of payloads depending on mission needs. Katran's control interface includes a custom operator seat modeled after aircraft cockpits. It features an aviation-style yoke and throttle lever along with multiple control buttons. One of these buttons, according to Militani, likely controls the bow trim of the unmanned vessel during maneuvers. Operators receive real-time visual data through augmented reality goggles linked to both day and night cameras on board the drone. This live feed is simultaneously displayed on a rear monitor, presumably to assist command officers at the control station. Ukraine's naval drone program has rapidly evolved. As Ninth explained, the Katran is no longer a simple kamikaze craft, but a long-endurance, reusable platform capable of multiple operations. This marks a dramatic transformation from the first Ukrainian USVs used in the Black Sea in June 2023, which were loaded with explosives and designed for one-way attacks. The HUR has invested heavily in expanding a flotilla of unmanned maritime systems. These include launch platforms for kamikaze drones and strike systems capable of engaging both land-based and maneuvering maritime targets. Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Mikhailo Fedorov officially revealed the Katran drone in March through his Telegram channel. The European Union intends to supply Ukraine with 4 million drones this year, and the country is also actively developing its own UAV production. In addition, China, Turkey and many other countries supply Ukraine with drones, which allows the Ukrainian armed forces to attack Russian territory. This was reported on his Telegram channel by former FSB officer Igor Girkin-Strelkov, who is currently serving time in a Russian prison. He expressed the opinion that, thanks to a large number of drones, the Ukrainians will exhaust Russia, and Europe can produce as many weapons, as many electronics as it wants, which it will supply against the Russian Federation. Therefore, the fact that the country has not yet embarked on a war footing, and that such an attempt has not even been made yet, objectively leads us to defeat in the war, to the fact that there will be many blows, and over time these blows will become more and more painful and will turn into large-scale military catastrophes. Unfortunately, this is almost inevitable. Igor Girkin-Strelkov said. In this case, President Volodymyr Zelenski called on NATO countries to invest in Ukrainian defense companies and create joint ventures to increase arms production and support Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky spoke about the capabilities of the Ukrainian defense industry during his speech at the NATO summit in The Hague. The production potential of the Ukrainian defense industry has exceeded $35 billion and already offers about 1,000 samples of defense products, from artillery and armored vehicles to drones of all types and missiles. However, only about 45% of our capacity is utilized. We can already produce about 8 million drones annually, but funding is far from these figures, Volodymyr Zelensky said. He noted that today Ukraine is open to various forms of cooperation in the defense sector, including the exchange of Ukrainian competencies and technological achievements with those who help the most. We must lead the arms race in the field of unmanned systems, both attack drones and interceptors, as well as traditional weapons, he added. It is worth noting that the announced capacity to produce 8 million drones is not fantastic. For example, in October last year, the president reported on the possibility of producing 4 million drones, of which 1.5 million units were contracted by the state at that time. Most of the million-dollar production volumes are accounted for by FPV drones, which are used in large quantities on the front line and have long since partially replaced the niche of precision missile weapons and artillery. Demand for FPVs is still growing, and so production is scaling up. In particular, Oleksiy Babenko, owner of the Ukrainian company Vyry Drone, said that according to average estimates, the annual assembly of 1 million drones from off-the-shelf components requires a staff of 400 employees. Accordingly, the conditional production of 8 million drones of this type is not a difficult task if there are enough resources.